Oh my God.
It's just somebody's train setup?
It's a basement with an awesome miniature train set. That's great.
I'm gonna have to set up one for my squirrels. Everybody can just check in on all my buddies.
Ooh, maybe that's the one. The official Modern Rogue Squirrel Cam?
Squirrel cam.
Come on. This episode of The Modern Rogue brought to you by Raycon. Head on over to buyraycon.com/rogue. Spell it right, R-O-G-U-E. Get 15% off and free domestic shipping. Jason, I don't want to accuse you of anything, but I will say you do a lot of research for The Modern Rogue, and therefore I just assume that you're on more government lists than I am.
I have computers that I only use for very specific things at very specific places that no one is allowed to ever sign into, ever, ever, ever. Have you changed your passwords on all of the security cameras around your house and around this facility?
Of course.
Yes, I mean, they're all changed here, but I bet you could go to your parents' house.
Okay, now that's a different thing.
Yeah, I bet you could go to your parents' house and go, I bet that's the default password on that camera. I bet that's the default password on that Bluetooth-enabled sous vide cooker. That's a real thing.
Name one substantial, super creepy possibility where you would deeply regret not changing your password.
Setting it up in your house just to make sure that your Meemaw doesn't fall when you're away at work. You've got a camera on her, you don't change the password, and now the whole world gets to watch Meemaw doing her weird business, whatever she gets up to when everybody's gone. Jesus Christ, Meemaw.
Classic
That's
Meemaw.
disturbing.
We did talk about this as far back as our TV show, Hacking the System. There were creepy stories of somebody using default passwords and logins and shouting, hey baby, wake up, and waking up people's kids in their nurseries. Please tell me that's 10 years in the past where it belongs?
Oh no. There are websites out there that have dozens of camera manufacturers with the password listed so that if people haven't changed the default password on their Brian Co. camera, they can find that, oh, the default that they set is admin 12345. So for all Brian Co. cameras, it's admin 12345. And if you didn't go in and change it, everybody can watch Meemaw doing her weird business.
Okay, what are all the default passwords to expect? I would assume admin.
You see that a lot.
Admin 0000.
You see that
admin
one?
1234.
Admin 12345.
Default.
Root.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, you see that a few times. But mostly, like, I would say probably at least half are admin 12345.
How would you even encounter the IP address? Because, for example, the cameras that we have on campus, they're all behind a router which has a firewall. They're all, passwords are changed or whatever. I assume that there are robots, kind of like a Google scraper, that just go out and just ping IP addresses and see what happens?
Yeah, and there are websites like Shodan.io that gather IoT devices all over the world.
IoT, Internet of Things.
And collect them in a browser, basically. There's also a website called Insecam.com that just collects unsecured webcams.
So they've already done the possibly felonious logging in with default credentials without permission. And they just have what, like a catalog just to take a tour of unsecured cameras?
You can sit there and you might find some terrible stuff. Now, most of these are going to be, oh, it's a lobby of a hotel in Russia. This is a beach in Monaco.
I do think that there will be a little bit of a selection bias because the type of people who consider, do I want to bother to change the password? If it's something that's like, I don't give a rat's ass, it's a sunset cam.
Right.
Everybody is allowed to watch this sunset.
Sure.
So some number of them are intentionally not changing it to make it as easy as possible.
Yes, but some,
Just
put it
don't
this
know.
way. I was browsing and I saw Meemaw doing some weird stuff. Somebody wash Meemaw's sheets, for God's sakes.
Okay, so if we wanted to be journalists and accurately report on how many exposed cameras there are, where would I go?
Let's go to Insecam.com.
I assume that is short for Insecure Camera.
I think that's probably a pretty good assumption. Now, if you see this, it's really simple. It is just hundreds of pages.
Here,
of
I'm going to go
unsecured
randomly
webcams
to page 8. This one just says live camera in Houston, United States.
of like a bridge or something, a channel.
Oh, you know what this is?
Is that a dam?
This would probably be one, I'm guessing, that they left it intentionally unsecure because Houston is very prone to floods and hurricanes. And this looks like a discharge channel. And you would want to be able to make it very easy from everybody from the media to the populace to whatever engineer is on site to be able to instantly go there, and you don't want to see what's the real password. So
Right.
I would say that's probably what that one is.
I think that's a fair thing to assume.
I dare you to try to say that word.
Białystok.
Białystok. Białystok.
Białystok.
Yep, you know what? You did
I
it.
think I nailed it.
I assume this is another one where it's like,
Make sure your car's okay.
you're probably looking for repeated parking violations or something. Now, you do get sensitive information, like, for example, you can see somebody's walking their dog
Oh, yeah.
back over there. But again, they're out in public, so there's really no public expectation of privacy
right.
at that point. But I kind of understand why you would intentionally make this unrestricted, because if anything sensitive were to happen, you would want as many people to know about it because it's on the street in front of your business.
Exactly. And again, this is in a legally gray area, so as long as you're not the one like brute forcing and trying to hack a password and going into someone's unsecured camera, right now, we're just browsing. We're not actually going into someone's device. I am not a lawyer, but you don't want to do that. Don't go password guessing on people's cameras. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, I believe what you're describing is called a felony.
Yes!
Okay, here we go. There are people walking around in Spain.
Oh, on the beach, cool.
So is there a reasonable expectation of privacy for all these people who are in a public beach? Obviously, the camera is owned by whoever has this private property, but my guess is if a crime is committed, again, you want as many people watching as possible so that you can verify ooh, there's a bride. Hey, that suddenly became creepy.
Oh, she's dead.
No.
We have to solve a crime, Brian.
Now we get into the part where as facial recognition gets better and better, now how creepy is it? Number one, that the person has the camera. Number two, that they're leaving it just open like, oh, please, nobody recognize any of these people. But also, this is an international thing now because U.S. laws are one certain way. Spain laws are going to be some other way.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just fascinating to me because it is, in a lot of ways, very slice of life. These are just benign, the ones we're looking at. And so it's like, hey, let's watch these sheep or
Cows,
goats or
yeah.
cows, whatever quadruped animal that is.
But also this appears to be some kind of retention pond or whatever. So again, this is a public thing where if there is flooding or if there is a problem, you would want some kind of record that was easily accessible. So again, the game theory would be that you would want to make it accessible. Oh my God, Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, look at that. It's just kind of fascinating. It's like, here's just a slice of life of what's going on the other side of the world here. This is what it looks like in Tokyo. I just saw a beautiful scene in Naples, Italy a second ago. It's really cool.
It's not for us to decide the morality or the legality of any of this, but it definitely exists. I can think of so many use cases where this would be important. For example, we have a total solar eclipse that's going to move all across the United States. And if there was a collection of publicly, like you could see crowds gathering and stopping and staring at the lack of a sun for 1 minute, and all of that could be assembled into something beautiful.
Oh, neat.
Artistically, that's great, but much like remix culture or sampling or whatever, it's, as you mentioned, a legally gray territory.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
But then you get into actual news. Like, I guarantee you, if any of these sites happen to suddenly be the place of a missile strike, suddenly nobody would be worried about what's legal. It would be on CNN all over the place.
Yeah, but look at this, it's amazing.
So we're seeing a beautiful sunset in Italy, and in this case, they have set up, oh, look at that, a bug, the location and a website to go visit. So it's almost certain that they want people to come visit, and that's why they've left everything unguarded. Did you actually run across a Meemaw moment? Oh my God.
I did.
Wait, wait. You know what? Forget this majestic castle. Tell me about the Meemaw.
Oh man, it was weird. I felt gross doing it. I'm just scrolling through, looking at all of these, and then I just see this old woman in her nightgown on a mattress. in a bare room. And this guy came in and he talked to her for a minute, and it's just this poor old lady, just as people are watching her.
So almost certainly that is one where somebody was lazy and they just want to make it easy for all of the extended family to check in on Meemaw.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
exactly. And what they ended up getting was a second camera angle for Meemaw's OnlyFans.
Can we set up a challenge for the fans in the comments? Give us the most interesting, safe uses of this kind of open-ended technology. Because I would love to do, in this case, we're just, wandering around. I would love a tour guide to explain to us why these are available and why they haven't changed their password yet. What I don't want no creeper stuff. In fact, part of me wants to install a camera and be one of these. Maybe we could set one up in the back acreage and see critters.
Oh, that would be fun. You should do that, yeah. MRHQ Critter Cam.
Actually,
You can see Squattin' Joe out there doing this Squattin' Joe business. It's probably pooping, by the way.
No, it's day trading.
Day trading, yeah.
I squat on the best stocks and I loose the rest. Put it in the comments.
And I go into Brian shit from a private time.
Where should we set up like a deer camp? Hey, Bryce.
Yeah.
What kind of car do I drive?
You drive a Jeep.
I removed all the other windows.
Oh.
Yeah, do you know how my driving experience is in my Jeep Wrangler?
That is windy.
Loud.
Yeah.
It's loud.
Yeah.
There's part of me that really wishes at all times I had some kind of earplugs or, I don't know, hypothetically, if only there was some kind of noise isolating device that was in my ears at all time, but also had the technical capability of playing all of my favorite podcasts. And if I was listening to music, had deep, rich bass, I bet that would be super duper expensive.
Not even.
What?
Our friends at Raycon.
Sorry, who?
Raycon.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm talking about Raycon. Head on over to buyraycon.com/rogue. You'll get 15% off. Raycon earbuds are the best. You know what I hate? Stress. You know what induces stress? Very expensive earbuds that you worry about getting them lost. I had my dog eat one of them.
No! No!
It was miserable. Meanwhile, I have like 3 sets of Raycons and I don't worry at all. I mix and match them. I always have backups and I never have to worry about losing the connection to my favorite podcasts, to my favorite music. And if you're in the US, you'll get shipping for freezies. And internationally, a simple flat fee. I'm telling you guys, stop holding on to this stress. Stop worrying about your Weimaraner eating your earbuds. Just stop worrying about that. Embrace the Raycon. Go to buyraycon.com/rogue. Spell it right. 15% off.
Modern Rogue is supported in part by viewers like you at patreon.com/modernrogue. In the description, you can find all of our credits and additional ways to support the show.
Have you ever seen some of those collections of like trucks that are exactly 1 inch taller than the bridge they're trying to go under?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's one that I would install and I would leave the default thing on and I would let everyone know about, hoping that somebody caught the moment that they perfectly shaved off the top of this semi truck.